Hi, my name is Dr. Sarah Rodgers of Idaho Naturopathic Medicine, and I'm here today with Lou and Trena Millikan of Every Day is a Gift Resiliency Coaching. So, welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. We really appreciate your time and an opportunity to discuss with you and your clients and your audience. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I really wanted to talk to you guys today because you are a bridge for people wanting to get A to Z in their life, whether it is a medical issue with like my patients who have been told to like they need to lose weight or they need to lower their blood sugars or their cholesterol or to start exercising, or just somebody who has life goals that they're not able to achieve on their own. So you're a great bridge between, getting from A to Z. You're the people that make the bridge so people can walk across it. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about your program.
It's funny you say the bridge because that's one of our kind of our themes when we're discussing what we do in our discovery call with a potential client is, we bridge the gap between what you say you want to do and what you actually do.
Mhm.
And so I'll preface also with what we're going to talk about and elaborate on is that we're first and foremost behavior change specialists. Even though we are very versed in naturopathic and or functional type medical research and education and knowledge and that kind of stuff. End of the day, we're the pros in behavior change, and it's just helping folks identify those discrepancies between what they say they're going to do and what they actually do. Did I
I
get that?
call it, yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. I call it simple, not easy. Simple. Don't
Right.
eat that. Not so easy if it's in front of you, right?
Well, we have learned that habits and routines are ingrained and they are very hard to modify or and change. And so, yeah, simple isn't always easy. For
No,
sure.
it's not. But
Yeah,
a lot of the things that we need to do are simple incremental steps, but it's not always easy to get started. And I love the concept that you're there, that you have this passion to help people improve their lives.
yeah. Meeting people where they are is important. We don't have expectations on outcomes, and so there's no pressure with what we do, and so. It doesn't matter where someone is on their health and wellness journey. We meet them where they're at and where they're ready to start it. And
Right.
there's no pressure. And if they, using the push-up analogy, if they did zero yesterday and they did one today, that's improvement and that's 1% better and that's a win. And so
Mhm.
that should be cause for celebration, as minor as that might sound. And so we really focus on those celebrations, those wins, and those little one percenters we call
Right. And tell me about how you help people celebrate, because I think that is an important part
them.
of like signing up for something like what you do is like it sounds like a lot of work, but you guys integrate a celebration along the way.
You talk about celebration. I've heard my wife in action, and so she's good at getting the celebrations.
So there's a science behind the celebration piece, and a lot of people have a hard time celebrating themselves. They think, oh, well, I have that done. I'm ready to go on to the next thing, and don't actually take the time to honor and recognize the meaningful work that they put in to make these lifestyle changes.
Mhm.
So it can be a small celebration, it can be an elaborate celebration. It just needs to be a celebration. Our brains love reward, and in order to create that craving, you want to have a celebration set so that your brain can look forward to that. So then you get that dopamine hit that your brain craves, right? And that release. So yeah, it's a big piece, and it can be, sitting outside in the sunshine with your eyes closed for 10 minutes and just soaking up the sun and listening to the birds and feeling the breeze on your skin. It can be having a nice cup of hot herbal tea by candlelight or a magnesium salt bath. I can go on and on. It's just little, it's little things like that to really just honor yourself and recognizing what you're doing to improve your health.
I love that. I love that. And you actually put the word resiliency in the name of your business. So let's talk about resiliency.
Yeah, we when we first started our journey, we didn't even know what health coach was when we were. It all started really with our medical journeys and to making ourselves better, and then just having purpose in life and giving to other people and having them have a meaningful life brought a lot of purpose to us. But that's kind of the background. So It's not just health and wellness, it's really building resiliency in all the domains. And that's what kind of makes our health coaching service different than others is that we help the client, raise the level in each domain of health, whether it's movement, nutrition, spirituality, emotional, physical, just whatever. And when you raise the level in each one of those areas in those health domains, resiliency is built. So when life throws something at you that, might used to be difficult or hard for you or for that person, we have found that when their resiliency is built or they build momentum in each one of those categories, their shields are up. And then we thought, like, I'm not Star Wars guys or anything, but it's kind of funny. We just like, okay, so then your shield is up, and then you build this resiliency, and then you become like armored. And then that's was the birth and the genesis for our website, which is armoredforlife.com. And then that way you're kind of our clients become armored for life against just what life throws at them. And so they become more resilient, and they can laugh hopefully at some of those things that used to cause them problems or pain and that kind of stuff. And then that's where we just decided that, we're really resiliency coaches and building a lot of resiliency in all those different areas to make someone stronger. So that's where it came from.
I love that. I love that. So you work not only just with individuals, but you like to do group work as well.
Yeah. You want to talk about
We
that?
do. We love group coaching. So what specifically?
Well, I think the difference is between the two, because I think that's a question that comes up too when someone was like, what's this group coaching thing all about? And it's a little more, it's a little more or less expensive. Some folks get attracted to that. Um, and so we just get questions kind of about what's the difference between the two. So really our group coaching works well where we just notice that it's that group accountability where say we do an 8-week grouping or 8-week group coaching on sleep. And that's one of our favorite ones. And there's a lot that you can build on just with sleep and it covers a lot of the other domains and builds that resiliency in other areas. But we find that just folks really like that because they can make connections with people that are in the class with them or
Mhm.
the sessions, and then they'll build like a Facebook site just for that group, that little cohort per se. And
Yeah.
so that's been kind of fun with the group coaching because um, lifelong friends are built in that we found so far, and accountability. So it's not just someone coming to Trina and I like, oh, hey, okay, yeah, I drank my water, and they, on the individual side they can hold each other accountable. So, when the two people are there, they can, the conversations and built and how efficacy is built within these group coaching amongst each other, and they're just talking and having dialogue amongst each other. And we just let it step back and let it grow. And that's where it's a lot of fun in the group coaching. And not to put down the individual coaching because we can do some really good deep work with folks on the individual side because you're going to get that one-on-one versus
Right.
8 to 1 type of instructor to student per se, using that analogy. So there's a lot of power in that too. And we actually have a couple folks that we've coached that have come back to coach for us because we it's so educational. They've learned so much that I'm like, would you like to come back and be a coach? And sure enough, they have. And so there's power in both methods.
Well,
Right.
and the energy of the group, they feed off of each other and they can
Right.
build on that, right? And so not only will the account back to the accountability piece, they can also share what's working and what's not
Right.
working.
Yeah.
So rather than just two heads together, there's a group as a whole that's coming together, sharing their experiences, right? And so that's another value added to the group coaching for sure.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're not doing it alone.
Yes,
Everybody's growing together.
we're all in it together.
We're all in it together. I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of power in the group coaching.
Right. Well, one of the things that I really appreciated learning about you is that you're really into patient or people-centered care, and that it really, like you said, you start with where the person is. And I really liked in your interview that you talk about not just about lifespan, but about health span. It's like how we move through the world. Are we going to be moving with grace, or are we moving with pain and frustration? or it's sort of like your whole process helps people mature. It's like learning and you're growing and you're learning to overcome the difficulties that you have. So I really love that.
Yeah, thank you. We really the cornerstone of what we do in our coaching is the initial part. It's you can't build a home on a poor foundation. So we have a very deep, comprehensive deep dive. Clients will come back like, wow, I'm glad that you told me it's going to take me probably 2 hours to fill out the intake assessment because it did. And so, and it's not just so much for us to learn, but we find that clients, when they go through our assessment program, they learn a ton about where their strengths, their opportunities are, the threats, weaknesses, all those kinds of things. And then we package it for them. And then after they've done that assessment, we give that to them. And so they can really see where they are because we've learned that not too many humans sit and do a deep reflection or assessment of themselves in all those health domains to just really know where they are because we're in the middle of the fight, right? We're living life, we're feeding a family, we're taking the kids here, we're got a spouse, we're doing that. I mean, we're going 100 million miles an hour, but we don't stop to reflect. And so what our coaching does is we stop and we force, dare I say, we force the client to do it when they come on board, and we tell them that up front that the learning about themselves is very deep, and we learn about their identity and their core and their values and what makes them tick even before they're allowed to build or they should build a strategy, goals and action
Right.
steps and their vision and all these things. It's just where are you now, and so that's something that we really focus hard on, and it really it helps the client as they go along when they hit those obstacles and those barriers to change because Trina and I both know a lot about them up front and about themselves and where those gaps are,
Mhm.
those blind spots in their rearview mirror are. So,
Right.
It creates a space for self-evaluation.
yeah.
So is there any age group that you don't work with or any demographic that you don't work with? It sounds like this could be for everybody.
It is for everybody.
Absolutely.
Anybody that wants to work with us, we welcome them with open arms
And we'll even do, you know, teenagers per se, with the
with a parent
yeah, with the
release.
parent release, and we actually have a client where we'll coach them together, and they've had some
Nice.
doing that, and so yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
So is there any one tip that you suggest for people looking to make changes in their health or in their life? Is there any one tip that you can think of to get people started?
To create a vision for themselves, to set the foundation. Just, I'm sure you've heard us say before, without you can't build a house on a weak foundation. You can't build a health plan on a weak foundation. And so having a clear vision as to where
Hmm.
you're going 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now is vital to the process. So, and reach out to us and we'll help you get that started
Yeah,
or get
yeah,
that.
it's without it, you can just the clients can play whack-a-mole because
Yep.
again, I kind of touched on it. They have a little consternation, have a little bit of difficulty, and then the vision is really the purpose, right? The why. Why is it did you come to us? What is the problem that you're trying to solve, and what do you look like 5 years from now? And when they
Right.
define that, they can always go back to it. And so when
Mhm.
we're coaching and they're having those problems and there are those kinds of things, 9 times out of 10, we'll refer back to that vision statement, and then they read it back to us like, yeah, you're right. This is exactly why. And so then that way they have the energy, the focus, and that purpose,
Right.
that laser
Right.
focus to know why they're doing it, and then they can accomplish those goals usually.
Yeah, exactly. I can give you my insight for this. I have a goal. My goal is to be a healthy 80-year-old.
Well, there you go. And that's
I love it.
simple. And you've committed to memory.
I
And
have.
so
We'll see if I
that's
have
an
the memory
important
when I'm
thing.
80.
It's perfect. I mean, and then we don't ever change them. It's just a lot of times some folks will want to write War and Peace, and so they have a very big long one, and so they can still have that. But a lot of times, as we go through the process, they'll truncate it, and then they commit it to memory. And so when they're having those problems, they can go
Right.
right back to I want to be da 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 da. I am this. I am that. Not I want to. I think.
Right.
The mushy squishy stuff. No, it's
And creating it as an I am statement. You're
Yeah.
believing it and you're claiming it to be your vision. So you're not just saying, I want to, you say, I am.
I am.
I am a healthy 80-year-old full of
And I
zest
look
and
great.
vitality, and you're rocking it, right? And so,
Perfect.
that is
Mhm.
belief is powerful. If we believe we can, we can. If we
Right.
believe we can't, right? And so there's a big piece to that too.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think that health coaching is a vital part to help people get from A to Z. In my practice, I tell people I want them to get to A to Z, but I don't have the time to help people get there. It's really expensive to come in with me every week to like just review their diet or review their exercise plan. And you guys have it all set up. So I'm really glad that you're there, that you can help people like my patients and other people who are looking to improve their lives. So thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
That's absolutely what we do. We implement your guidance, and then where they're like, she said something and I can't really remember, they're scratching their head. It's like, oh, well, we can go back to that, educate them like, oh, that's why I get it now. And yeah, because a lot of times you don't have the time to spend 2 hours
Right.
with someone, but
Well, and they take your lifestyle plan and they bring it to the health coaches and we support them, to
Mhm.
bring that to life,
sure.
right? And so they're not on their own, and they have clear focus on where to get started. And so, yeah,
Well, I will be putting your contact information at the end of this video. So I really very much appreciate your time in talking to me about your practice. Thank you so much.
thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you,
doing
Dr.
this.
Rogers. Thank you for doing what you do.